One thing you definitely want to have down as a lead guitar player is arpeggios. And today we're going to start with basic triad arpeggios, meaning 3-note chord arpeggios. And to simplify matters, we're going to just play them on the top 3 strings, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to give you a pattern for major, minor, and diminished. And we're going to step through the diatonic chords of 3 different keys. I'm going to start with a D chord for simplicity because I'm down here at the end of the fretboard, and I'm going to work my way up. A D major chord, as I'm sure you know, is this open shape. And the key of D has 2 sharps in it, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. So it has F sharp and C sharp in it. What we're going to do is learn the diatonic arpeggios in D, again for convenience on the fretboard here, and then we're going to work our way back in the circle of fifths and to the key of G and the key of C and look at the arpeggios. What I really want to get across today is the concept of the shapes. So if I start with a major shape for D on the top 3 strings, this shape here I'm going A, F sharp, D, A, D, F sharp, A, and that shape is going to be a major arpeggio shape no matter where you put it on the fretboard. In this case, the D is here on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret. That's where the root is going to be always, on the 2nd string for these shapes. So the D major arpeggio is 5, 2 on the 1st string, 3 on the 2nd string to 2 on the 3rd string and back. So, and again, you could accent them in different ways. Like that. So I'm just doing pull-offs there. 5, 2, 5, 2, 3, 2, like that. So now if I were to apply that to the chords in the key of D, the basic chords in the key of D are D, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C sharp diminished, and back to D. So what I'm going to do is work my way up the fretboard and show you these arpeggios. So here's the D. And again, these are all written in the tab in the beginning. So there's D, E minor. So with this one now what we have is the major shape that we had, but here's where the 3rd was of the chord. And from any minor chord, you've got to move the 3rd back a fret, or back a half step. So for E minor, here's E on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. I'm going 7 to 3 on the 1st string, 5 on the 2nd string to 4 on the 3rd string. And those notes are B, G, E, B. And the notes of the E minor chord are just E, G, and B. The next chord up is F sharp minor. F sharp's here at the 7th fret of the 2nd string, so I'm going to play the minor arpeggio shape for that. So far we have D major, E minor, F sharp minor, to G major. Now notice when I get to G at the 8th fret of the 2nd string, the G chord in the key of D is a major chord, so I'm using that major arpeggio shape. A major, and again, A is here at the 10th fret, so this is an A major chord. To a B minor, here's B at the 12th fret of the 2nd string. And the next chord is C sharp diminished. So for this one, this will be a new shape. I'm going to be at the 15th fret of the 1st string to the 12th fret of the 1st string, down to the 14th fret of the 2nd string and the 12th fret of the 3rd string. Those notes are G, E, C sharp, G. So again, that's the diminished shape. Back to D. So if I played the whole thing, D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, C sharp diminished, to D. So you want to get real familiar with those arpeggio shapes. And of course that was the key of D, as I just mentioned. If we were to take that backwards in the circle of fifths down to the key of G, let's look at how that would work in the key of G. The chords in the key of G are G, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, and G major. So here's G on the 2nd string. Again, the roots for all of these arpeggio patterns in this lesson are on the 2nd string. So here's G major, to A minor, to B minor, to C major, down to D major, and there's no reason you couldn't keep going up the fretboard. I just went down to D for convenience here on the fretboard. So get D major, to E minor. Now in this case, F sharp diminished, to G. And again, that one's written out in the tabs as the key of G. So the key of C, to take it backwards again in the circle of fifths, is going to go from C major. Now I've got open strings here. So this is G, E, C, G, or 3 open, 1 open. And the chords in the key of C are C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and C. So here we go with the key of C. C major to D minor to E minor, F major, G major, A minor, to B diminished, and back up to C. And that is a little bit about basic triad arpeggios on strings 1, 2, and 3. So that starts with a hammer on from the 7th to the 9th fret on the 3rd string. And then the 8th fret on the 2nd string. So I really think of that as 3 different little sections that make that whole, starting with the first section.